in the front. Because we create very little trash because Kevin's been staying with his girlfriend for the last 3 weeks, more or less.
Yes, because
he just comes in to pick up his mail and he's been taking care of her dog. And Nick hasn't been here and I was away for 8 days. And I put all my trash in the front, tiny little bags of it, every day.
Okay, so I'll start taking the trash out in the front because I
Do
can't.
whatever you want.
I cannot carry that rotting a bin.
But
It's been rotting for
mostly your
2.
stuff. I would suggest if you took all the bins out, dear, now 89% of it is yours.
And I'm
We're not
saying
responsible
that
for taking out your trash, which is why everyone's decided, because of the way you are, to take their trash out the front because you're lazy, as your friend Tony told me. Incidentally.
yeah. So I'm telling you that
I don't really care what you're telling me. If
my
it bothers
bag-
you, I don't care about your bag.
do not wave that.
I'm not. I'm just cutting my
You're.
bag.
I know, but I was in an aggressive manner, especially with the tone of voice.
In your opinion,
I'm
that's
just
like
saying.
the beer bottle that you put up there.
What beer
I
bottle?
didn't order that. Shit, I didn't.
And so, like I'm saying, my bag is not in a good position to be
Well,
carrying a
maybe
trash
that's because
can.
You were busy doing something last night. That's why your bedding is so smelly.
Of course. I had sex in my room.
And so you put
So,
dirty something that's got
exactly, because I'm in
on
a
the floor. On the floor. That's really gross. And you think that's okay when you live with 3 other people to put sex-stained bedding on the floor?
I'm in the middle of washing it,
Well,
so.
no, you can't put it in there. Please
Okay,
don't
so
put it in
I'm just
there.
saying that
Put it
I'm
in
just
a
letting
plastic
you
bag.
know
Put it
my
in a
back
plastic-
is not in a
My
current
back's
working.
not in a good way either. I have arthritis in my toes. You want me to go on about what's wrong with me? You want me to go on about that?
No, I'm not. I'm not
Well,
trying to go on some oppression Olympics.
Oh,
I'm just
no.
letting you know that I have
Well, my
state
back-
recognized disabilities. And
Really. And I have arthritis in my toes. Look.
that doesn't. I'm not trying to have some type of oppression.
Look at the size of me compared to the size of you. Okay? Let's just be realistic. Look at my arms. Look how thin they are. Okay? You think I can lift up all your rubbish? I've taken out the bins every weekend. Me and Teddy, we took it in turns. Mostly Teddy, he would take them out.
How long has it been since Teddy lived
It doesn't
here?
matter. I'm just saying that.
I mean, what I'm saying is you should be talking about something that's relevant
But
versus.
rather, like, you should take the trash out, okay? Because it's full of
I
your stuff.
have taken the trash
You
out.
should once, and then one time you just left the trash bin on the side of the street, and I said to you, please take the trash bin back in, and you know what you said to me? You said, oh, it's halfway there. I was like, what?
Exactly. You wouldn't even let me finish talking.
Well, what are you going to say?
I mean, at this point,
You're
like,
going to say something that you haven't already said before? You have a tendency to be repetitive.
apparently, because you don't.
Okay, what are
think-
you trying to say?
What I'm trying to say is that I'm waiting for you to fix my window. I'm waiting.
I don't know how many times I've told you. Do you not remember me responding to that question yesterday? Do you not remember me responding to your question yesterday?
I've been asking you to do something
you
about the
remember?
rodent
Do you-
infestation.
Do you
I've been
not remember?
asking you
Do you
about the
not- I
fleas. I think that the fleas are from the rodents that are living in the crawl space
There are no
underneath.
rodents living in the crawl
I had
space.
showed you evidence of
Evidence? What evidence? That your potatoes were eaten? That's
by
not
rodents.
evidence. How do
Yes,
you know?
because I showed you the images
I
of.
didn't see a picture of a rodent.
I'm deathly allergic to
Well,
rodents.
then maybe you shouldn't live here.
Well, that's
Who
just.
goes around taking pictures of bins that lives 2 blocks away? Who does that? I mean, that's a bit mental, isn't it?
I mean, like,
Who does that? Who does that?
someone
really?
who is like disgusted to see rats
Well, you
crawling and
shouldn't live
eating.
there. Apparently, somebody told me last night that my friend who I was on the phone with, who you just banged on my door. I would never bang on your door like that, or anyone's door like that. Number one, they may be sleeping. It's just rude.
I mean,
your manners are beyond.
yeah. I mean,
Anyway,
I think it's
did you-
adequate for the
do
level
you
of
remember?
harassment you make me endure.
Oh, like what kind of harassment?
I've already
What kind of
documented it numerous times.
What kind of harassment is that?
I don't have to reiterate myself. I've given you the information in which what is considered landlord retaliation. I've given you.
Retaliation.
I've given you the information of the state code. I had a social worker come by to document the harassment you're making me enduring.
Listen, you're trying to stay here. It's not going to work.
I mean,
Why do you want to stay here so badly with all of these problems? Why?
because of my family and work situation.
Why? What's your family got to do with it? Do they have a restraining order against?
They don't. It's only my father who has a felony, and I don't understand why you're so adamant on protecting a man who's had a felony. I did overshare with that, but I didn't expect for you to use it as fodder for your abusive word.
Why don't you go and live with your family then?
Because I'm living here.
But you obviously don't like it here.
I just don't like your harassment.
Well, then you shouldn't live here.
Well,
Excuse me,
I am
sorry.
legally allowed,
No, you're not. I've given you 30 days notice.
and the
I'm exhausted.
Me
Please.
too. The social
Woman,
worker
please
has
leave.
stated that has no merit in court and is considered harassment.
What's
It's
harassment?
I've given you the information.
I
It's not
just
my
said-
responsibility to
I
make
don't-
you
I
know
have not
what
harassed
California law is.
I haven't harassed you in any way, and I can tell you right now that I have many people who will attest to my behavior, and I'm sure there are many people who will
I mean,
attest to
that's
your
fine,
behavior.
but
I'm just gonna tell
you
one
know
thing,
what
if
I
you could just
record
excuse me
and what I
for one-
document
if you could just
goes
I just-
against the state law. That is why it was documented by the social worker.
What was documented? The social worker didn't see me do anything. And in fact, when I spoke to the property manager specifically regarding the social worker, she said, you should have told them, you have every right to stand. I had every right to stand right there in front of the gate if I wanted to. The social worker turned around and said, oh, this is a private conversation.
Yes,
Excuse me,
because
let me
you
finish,
are the
please.
alleged
Let me
perpetrator.
finish. The point is that I have every right to stand. I was told this. I don't know the law on these situations, but I don't know the
But
law.
you
So
should
I was
inform
told-
yourself
Can I
on the
finish,
law
please?
instead of going
Can I
about
finish,
muttering
please?
ignorance.
Can I finish, please? I went to the gate because you didn't. Beck is very clever. You know what he does when there's a gate that has he goes like this.
it doesn't- it doesn't-
And he opens the gate, so it's very.
I'm just like done with this
important that you close
conversation.
the gate. It's very
Like, I
important
just wanted
that you put the
noted
bolt-
about
It's very
this.
important that you put the
and
bolt
this.
in the lock. Okay. It's very
There was
important.
no bolt in the lock. You said Kevin had taken it.
No, the bolt.
And so it's
not
just
the
like,
lock, not the
at this
bolt.
time, I'm
have to
asking
put
you
the
to
bolt.
just
You have to put
cease
the
this
bolt-
conversation
you
because
have to put the bolt
because
in the
I
bolt,
originally
not
brought this
the-
conversation to ask to see if someone can move the trash bin because it's too heavy for
Well,
me
it's
to
too
lift.
heavy for me too because it's full of your rubbish. I went to
It's
a
the
party
house's
for 8
rubbish.
days. Kevin hasn't here, Nick hasn't been here for 3 weeks, so mostly it's your rubbish, sweetie. Why don't you go and look in the bin and see what other people's rubbish is?
I don't want to look in a bin that has 2 weeks worth of
2
rotting.
weeks of Kevin hasn't
Trash.
been here. Nick hasn't been here for 3 weeks. I was away for 8 days, and all the rubbish that I had, I put in the
But
front.
like I said,
So
I'm
actually, none
done.
of that rubbish
Please
is
do not
mine.
walk towards me in an aggressive
None-
manner.
What you think? Take a picture of me and see if I'm.
I've been
aggressive.
recording this whole
That's fine.
conversation,
That's fine. You're not allowed actually to record me without my consent.
but I am allowed to record what is considered tenant retaliation.
A tenant retaliation.
Yes.
You mean landlord
Uh,
retaliation. If
you-
you're going to speak to me in this fashion and be all so
I mean,
learned about the law, at least I'm not claiming to know anything about this kind of law because I don't.
Because you should, and
Why
you shouldn't.
should I?
Because you need to stop infringing on my rights.
I'm not infringing on any rights.
You
First
are.
of all, you
You're
violated-
choosing.
you
You're choosing to
excuse
be
me.
ignorant on what California state law is, and you're choosing.
You violated.
How is
You
it violated? Why is it violated?
I said very clearly, unequivocally, that you were not allowed to have any people over in the house or on the property without prior permission from Kevin, myself, and Nick. And last night you had friends over inside the house. I didn't say anything about people outside the house.
I mean, I was in my
Somebody
legal
left-
rights.
Somebody left the house law. They made it very clear and had it in writing via text that you violated. You had people
What?
come over last night. Excuse me, I'm sorry. I don't mean to-
See, this is the thing. You keep on just like changing the conversation.
I'm
You're
not
deflecting
changing
the conversation. Then why are
I'm
you
not,
bringing
because
up?
This is a conversation. This is pertinent to what you were talking about, is it not?
Exactly, and
It
I,
is exactly
I
pertinent
I
to what
have
I'm
every
talking
legal
about.
right to host to have friends over.
When it said very clearly in the text, and Kevin also attests to this, that you are not to have, and Mig also, that you're not to have people over, that we do not priorly have. I mean, whenever Kevin had, they always tell me beforehand, we always tell each other.
So how did you vet all the dinner mates for Mig's dinner?
Mig told me about them. She told me about
So
them.
how is it different from me telling you about them?
Because
My
she
friends.
said, is it okay? She didn't just go ahead and invite people.
People weren't in the house beyond using my restroom.
No, people stay. I heard them this morning in your room going watching some fantastic thing on the TV. I'm sure.
So you were listening to me while I was having
walking
sex
past
and
what?
doing whatever in my own
While I was
privacy.
listening to you having sex. Oh my God, you really are quite ill.
I'm allowed to have overnight guests, and for you to be listening onto them.
Nobody is listening to you.
You just
having
finished.
sex.
You just finished saying that you were listening into
I
what we were
wasn't
watching, some
listening. I
show or something like
And he
that.
was going, oh fuck, like something great was happening in the movie, whatever it was that you were doing.
We were having sex.
Oh, that never occurred to me. It's none of my business whether you're having sex at home.
Just as it's none.
It's my business when you've been told specifically that you're not to have people over.
And so again, just let me know. I'm having a house inspector inspect all the issues I brought up. I brought it.
No housing inspector is allowed on the property, and I've got a text from the property management team telling me that.
They can't do that.
They can.
It's the state.
They can't. They're not allowed.
And I'm also reporting you to Consumer and Business Affairs.
Why are you reporting me? Well, do you have nothing better to do? You're so
I
desperate.
don't. Yeah.
You're so desperate that you have absolutely nowhere else you can stay. You hate it here so much.
I don't hate it here. I just hate your little attitude.
Sweetie darling, let me just tell you this, okay? Between Mig, myself, and Kevin, and the people next door, I can assure you that that you might take a look at yourself, darling.
I mean, I do. I look at myself every day in the morning, and and you can look at me every day in the morning as well. But I mean, like I said, I'm staying here. I'm staying here until
Why do you want to stay here? If you don't like it, why would you?
I don't.
Somewhere?
I love it here.
Why would you stay somewhere where you are not wanted, that you are disliked immensely by every single member in this household?
Because I don't.
Because you don't have anywhere to go. Why don't you go stay with one of your friends that you had last night? They seem very nice, from what I could tell.
Because I live here. And you know what?
Why do you want to live somewhere where you are not wanted?
Because it's a great location for my job and my family and my church.
Why don't you go stay with one of your family members?
Because I live here.
Why you are not wanted here?
That's you know what?
Right now,
we're not friends. We don't have to be friends. We're all just roommates.
I have every right to tell you, if you don't respect my things and my appliances, etc., like the hose, I just said, can you replace the nozzle? Simple question. Anybody else would have said, sure, I'm sorry I broke it. And they would have just said straight away, oh, by the way, I broke your thing. Like, when I broke Mig's lid, I was mortified. I looked
when someone goes on a giant tangent about being mindful of other housemates and being XYZ, and then they go about in the same conversation that they're not going to give me the same respect that you're demanding me to give to others.
It's simple.
So do I.
No, you don't, sweetie. You don't. You immediately disrespected me within the first week by digging up all my plants when I specifically said to you, wait till I get some soil.
There's buckets of soil and dirt.
It doesn't matter. The point is, that's my soil. I wanted to get soil for my plants, and I really didn't want
the soil's there.
No, I wanted to get new soil for my plants. The same soil, the organic soil that's in the bed, okay?
Mind you, this is a conversation that was started in regards to just having a definite date in regards to house issues. And we're now talking about soil.
I'm telling you why.
I don't really care.
You don't care.
I don't.
That's the point. You don't care.
Exactly.
About anybody else except yourself.
Exactly.
And that doesn't work for anybody that lives here, because we care about each other. We care about human nature.
I care about each other and everyone nice. No, but when you go on.
You had a bad back. You can't do this because you had sex last night, because you have a bad back because you had sex last night. So we're supposed to be responsible for taking out the trash because of all the things that are.
I mean, you're the only one that pays $675 for your 2 bedrooms. How much? I mean, what you charge? Yeah, I already spoke with Mig and Kevin that they all pay $1275, which leaves a difference of $675 with the remaining.
They all pay $1275, by the way. So you're not telling the truth, because I know Mig doesn't lie. And I know Kevin doesn't lie. So there you go again, putting yourself in a hole by clearly lying. What's the point of that? What's the point of that?
What's the point of this conversation? Why exactly? I was asking for assistance with the trash bin. I cannot carry it right now.
Me neither.
You know, it's been rotting there for 2 weeks. It's causing a rodent infection.
Your trash. It's your trash.
It's not just my sole trash.
Whose trash is it then?
It's the house's trash.
He hasn't been here for 3 weeks. Kevin's been staying with his girlfriend.
I just saw him the other day.
Yeah, he came to pick up his man. He didn't put. He came to pick up his man and take the stuff from his
I digress.
Because he thinks you took his bagels. And you probably did just
What
like you
bagels?
probably did just like you took my Aussie bites and put them on your shelf and then put papaya or mango and limes on top of the thing that was mine.
There was things randomly on my shelf. If it's
They
on my
weren't
shelf.
randomly on your shelf. I'm very clear. Everyone knows how specific.
Was it just
I am.
constant deflection? It's like
not
you can't even have a single conversation without you figuring out a way to
Oh my God,
attack my
you're so-
character.
You're very manipulative. I realise that. I never really met anybody like you. I watched something on the television the other day that sort of reminded me of you about. It was actually a really good show called Obsession about this girl who was really manipulative, and I'm learning a lot about. I've never met anybody that isn't just an open, normal, honest person. You know what I mean? It's interesting, but it's a little bit. It leaves a very bad taste in my mouth. So on that note, I'm going to leave, and you're just going to do what you want with my laundry without any respect. But I beg you to comply, not to put that big comforter.
And I'm asking you again to find assistance to take out the rotting trash bin.
Who's going to assist you?
I have no one here, but you're the landlord. It's your responsibility to ensure this household that
it's your responsibility to take care of your own trash. It is not my responsibility to take care of your trash. You do a lot of cooking, you create a lot of rubbish, you have a lot of boxes and everything. I literally
What boxes? I'll take the recycling out. That's fine, but I cannot lift the trash bin because it's.
I have not got one thing in that black.
But
bin
you
that's
choose
mine.
to
Put it out in the front.
to be the landlord. You choose the landlord role. So
are
therefore, you
responsible.
have responsibilities.
You are responsible for taking out your
You
trash.
have
You're a
responsibilities
grown
to
woman.
have
A grown
proper
woman.
accommodations
A
for
grown-
my disabilities that are recognized by the state of California.
Well, excuse me. You tell me the reason why you have a bad back is because you had sex last night.
The reason why I had a bad back is because I had fractured 12 ribs 6 years ago, and last year I refractured 3 ribs. And so yesterday I was in I went to a show. I was walking
So
around.
you do all this stuff, and so because of that, because you were going out and having a great time, which I'm glad you did. We're supposed to take out your trash. No, darling, we're not here to be. I'm not your carer.
I'm not saying you're a carer. I'm just saying you have responsibilities as a landlord to make this.
Responsibilities as a grown woman to take care of your own trash. I mean, God, it's unbelievable.
This is why I'm reporting you to Consumer Affairs and Business Affairs.
Going forward, you are not to record me.
I'm going to record anything that is considered abuse.
What is this abuse? Having a conversation you keep repetitively telling me that I can't.
I'm asking for reasonable accommodations. I'm asking for reasonable maintenance. And you keep on deflecting the conversation, and you do things.
It's your responsibility to take out your own trash. Why is it my responsibility to take out your trash? Tell me.
It's your responsibility to clean the feces off of the planters.
It's not my responsibility
It is.
to clean the feces out.
The city told me it's a landlord's.
Yeah,
and
I am not the landlord.
so you need to bring it up to their attention.
I did, trust me. And I
You also need to brought up the city won't do anything because it's on our property.
The landlord doesn't care because you know what he says? If you don't like it, you can move out. He owns 32 properties.
Yeah, he doesn't care. He doesn't care. That's
care.
why I'm taking all this information to the proper department. So
Listen to me. The city told me. I actually hate the poo in the beds. I actually hate that, and I did ask the.
and then I also showed you evidence of rodents.
I have not seen any rodents since I've lived here in 5 years.
This is
But
Los Angeles. We live behind 3 restaurants. There is a homeless, a serious transient situation. Rodents are everywhere. I was literally walking down the street and showed you the picture. It was disgusting. It was vile. You went on. I have it recorded. You're talking on a giant tangent about who records rodents. That's so vile. X, Y, Z. I don't have time to take it back. So
do it correctly. Say what I said verbatim.
So
what I in fact
so
said.
I'm asking you
Who
again.
takes pictures of other people's trash bins 2 blocks away? I mean, that's just not normal. I don't think
It's very normal. I was walking over to my friends and I saw a
hate
disgusting
rodents.
sign.
I absolutely hate rodents. I hate
And
mice.
I also
I hate
took
insects. And there are loads and loads of stray cats here. There are cat
Exactly.
species underneath the house. I've seen that.
And there's
asked
rodent
the landlord-
feces as well.
I doubt if there's rodent feces. Maybe it's a possum. Do you know what possum feces looks like? But it's
Yes,
a
it doesn't
possum.
look like rodent feces because I'm not allergic to possums.
Well, maybe
I'm
you
allergic
shouldn't
to
go underneath
rodents.
the house then. Okay. I'm gonna
Well, I
tell
had
you
to
right
spray
now.
the area for poison.
What do you mean? You sprayed the area for poison?
Yeah. And it's just like I don't want to have to get the rat poison where they eat it because when they defecate, the rat poison is still in their feces, and if dogs eat the feces, the dogs will.
If he's stupid enough to go underneath the house, then it's his own fault, isn't it?
But I mean, rodents probably crawl through the bougainvilleas. That's.
I'm always in the bottom.
Oh, of course you wouldn't see a rodent because you don't putz around with it at the time where rodents are there.
But anyway, the fact
But regardless, it's like I don't want to buy rat poison to compromise your dog's health.
just don't live here, Anna. Just
Oh,
don't live here.
you know,
There's
it's
too many
at-
complaints. Too many complaints.
Yeah, it's like, you know,
The landlord suggested I give you a 3-day notice.
you could go ahead and try.
No, I'm going to.
Then go
She's
ahead.
giving me no- you know what I said in a text to Mick and to Kevin? I said the landlord suggested I gave her a 3 or 5 7-day notice.
On what terms?
I said, but I'm going to stand by my word and give her 30 days. But now to this point, you've left me with no recourse but to do as the landlord and property team management suggested. Good night.
All right.